You did something that you've never done. You've allowed the continuing of life. You proceeded on as if the deaths in June did not happen, as if a genocide was not committed, as if we don't have missing persons, as if we don't have abductees, people whom we cannot correctly ascertain whether they are alive or dead, people who the government is telling us, is showing us the middle finger and telling us, yes, we have them, and yes, we are going to continue, and yes, you cannot do anything about it. So, because of that, you proceeded on as if life was normal, and you have customary duties, you have customary obligations, you have customary requirements from your ancestors. And women were the weepers, women were the mourners. Women are the ones who go and scream. Women are the ones who go and yell and wail. Women are the ones who go cry. They go and cry to God. They go and cry to spirits. They go and cry to their ancestors and say, God, take these kids who have been murdered by an angel of the devil. This murderer is called William Ruto. Take their souls. Accept them into heaven. The women are the ones who are supposed to lead that. But you listened to the oppressor. He told you that he's going to stop. He told you that he's going to change his ways. But this man had never any intention to change his ways. In fact, he had camouflaged his true self. He had turned himself into a wolf, pretending to guard sheep. So this man had no intention of changing. This man has no intention of changing, but you are hoodwinked at the time to believe that he was embarking on remedial measures. He was never going to do it. In fact, he has escalated the killings. During Christmas alone, we have seen over 15 abductions and deaths. Boats are being dumped in the middle of nowhere. And so, that's why the rallying call was to the women, was to the mama, because you are mothers. Because you are the only one who can connect to the pain of giving birth to another human being. You are the only one who knows how it feels to be connected to somebody by the umbilical cord. That is a strong bond. And you cannot continue. You cannot continue with life. You cannot continue with life as if it's normal, yet you are not offered your prayers. You have not, your way of offering prayers is to cry, is to wail, is to moan, is to pray. And now it doesn't matter the age group of women. We have mothers in their 20s. We have mothers in their 30s. We have mothers in your 40s. We have mothers in your 50s. You know the pain of losing a loved one. You can relate to the pain, to the anxiety, to the anguish that right now Kibet Bull's mom is feeling. You can feel the pain. You can relate to the anxiety and the anguish that Peter Moteti's mom is feeling right now in their family. Billy Mwangi and all the other abductees. You can relate. And so we've never seen Kenyan women, we've never seen you of late rising to the occasion, doing what you were purposed to do in real life. This is you. You are powerful beyond measure. A few women, it wasn't even hundreds, it wasn't even thousands, it was less than 100. They stood by and stopped Daniel Arap Moi from grabbing Uhuru Park. One solitary woman stood by and stopped Moi and JJ Kamodo from grabbing Karura Forest. One woman called Wangari Maathai. So you are powerful beyond measure. They have instituted and, orchestrated all these distractions for you just to distract you from a divine purpose. Women, it's your time to rise to the occasion because our men have been systematically emasculated. Our men have been distracted with a lot of nonsense, with pornography, with alcohol, with vera, with jabba, with all sorts of nonsense. And so even them, they are unable to exploit their full potential. Which is why you're seeing right now the majority of the people who are being cited as sellouts, as betrayers, as infiltrators, majority of them are just so happen to be men. We are talking about the head of the snake, Okiya Omtata. We are talking about Boniface Mwangi. We are talking about Hussein Khalid. We are talking about Morara Kebaso. All of these are men who have left their divine purpose, who have stopped using their their heads. They have been sold for fear. And now they think that they can extend that losing streak to the rest of the men in the country. While the other men take time to recalibrate, women, you've always been focused. You've always been, this has always been your fight. We are jointly intertwined with a call for good governance. We have seen women have been the number one victims, the number one casualties of a dwindling and declining economy. And as that is happening, the men have just been making a mockery out of it. When I listen to radio stations, they've just been making a mockery. Oh, we have the scourge of single mothers. Oh, we have the what? Oh, tunaitishwa pesa. But all of these have just been used to mask and to obfuscate the fact that the economy has been on a downturn ever since Uhuru came and Ruto now escalated it. And who are the primary victims of bad governance? It goes without saying, it's women. They don't want to address that. They want to make it like now it's content for media. Now let's talk about what? Let's talk about what? The families are being broken because of lack of money. You know, once the man doesn't have money, is unable to sustain the family, then everything goes haywire from there. Nobody wants to address or the political establishment to take responsibility for hemorrhaging and diminishing and, finishing all the opportunities for the men, leading to broken homes, leading to the same scourge that is now fodder for media and content creators. Oh, that we have an explosion of single mothers. Nobody wants to identify the real source of these problems. Everyone wants to make a mockery. Everyone wants to make a joke of it, which is now, I'm telling you, women have traveled to all the worst countries that you may imagine. And the number one sign of a failing economy is nothing else than the lack of opportunities for women. And go to places where there are no women, they enjoy the privileges and the enjoyments and the freedoms that you have in Kenya, or you've been enjoying, are not necessarily available in every other country. That you can buy your own car, you can live in your own apartment. There are other places where those things are not common. Those things aren't even possible. There are places where you go where, if you just need to look at the index of the countries which have been banned by UAE from people getting visas on arrival or applying for visas online. You just need to look. You'll see Uganda, you'll see Rwanda, you'll see Burundi. They won't tell you officially, but the real reason is that women have been running away to that country in pursuit of greener pastures and end up settling for jobs like prostitution and whatnot. We don't want Kenyan women to head that way. Of course, there are these people in the pinnacle of in the apex of the political establishment. They love that they have money and they can get any woman that they want. And then they send other women to come and antagonize their fellow women, pretending that they are doing any better. But we know what is happening behind the scenes. And we don't want our country to go to sleep in that direction. So this fight is not for me. It's for everyone. Shared prosperity. Empowered women is an empowered economy. They have come and depreciated and diminished any opportunity for anyone to make money. And that acts, while it is targeting X number of people, it is also targeting our women in equal measure. The women who fought for and who clamored for women empowerment, once they got to the positions that they wanted, they forgot that they had a whole agenda they had carried on their backs. The ones who fought for the new constitution, which included now positions like women rep, to be able to see that the judiciary top 3 is women, they no longer champion for your needs, for your collective aspirations. The gender war has been state-sponsored to keep us in a state of conflict, to keep us in a constant state of fighting amongst each other. They killed and butchered and massacred and abducted children, and they had the audacity to claim that the Kware murder was targeting women, that it was an issue of femicide. There is no difference between femicide and genocide. All of them is a loss of life. But for them to constantly tout the gender perspective was an intentional and deliberate measure to keep us divided, to keep us from uniting to fight the collective enemy. The common enemy is who? It's the political establishment, it's the elites, the ones who profit in this state of the economy. Those are our enemies. We find ourselves in such circumstances, not because we wanted, but because we have allowed it. Silence is consent. You have allowed. Your silence is compliance. Your silence is giving room, is emboldening wankers like Kemani Ishongwa to speak out of his ass, to talk all the crap in a funeral. You cannot even respect the dead. You turn a funeral into a political theater where you spew all toxic and divisive rhetoric. And then you've staged, there is live TV, and then there's all these propagandists who chop. Idiots like Motembei TV. They chop all that. They chop the most volatile. They make it viral so that we can continue getting aggravated. We can continue living on the edge. We can stay in a constant state of anxiety because they feed off our negative energy. They feed off our conflict. They feed off our divisions. They feed off them. They enjoy it. They sit back when they go back to their 5-star hotels and they are thinking, Leonaje, wale watu niliwadunga, that it gives them a sugar rush. But you have enabled it. You are a co-conspirator. You have facilitated the economic ruin that we are undergoing. You have created all these political animals. The question is, are you ready? The question is, will you turn up? The question is, will you continue buying fear? Will you continue? You're already broke, but you're buying fear from scaremongers, from the political establishment. We have already declared that Monday, 6 January is a public holiday. We have already declared. We have circulated a gazette notice. So if you think you're smart enough that you're going to take your children to school, be my guest. You're so desperate to take your children to school to learn in a flawed curriculum where even money for capitation has not been wired, has not been availed, where even teachers, we don't know whether they are going to have salaries, but you're so keen on sending your children to school because you think they are a burden. If you want to take them to school, be my guest. If you want to open your business, you have seen in today's nation, they're saying Maina Jenga, he's a dog of war. Maina Jenga has been running Matatu cartels, has been running the goons, has been cited, mentioned adversely in the ICC reports because of his perpetrating of genocide. He has been brought specifically to loot, to vandalize your business. Now, if with that glaring evidence, you can see the evidence on your table. You can see the newspaper. They are saying that Maina Jenga has been co-opted into the government. If you have seen all of that, my friends, and you say and you elect, I am going to open my shop, I am going to open my hardware, I am going to open my supermarket. If you have seen all of that and you elect to it, please, I have kept on repeating, do not come to blackmail us. Do not come to blame protesters. Open tomorrow so that people can stock up whatever they want. Because from Monday, we are reclaiming our country. From Monday, we are taking back what's ours. From Monday, we are putting politicians in their place.